Hey there, Mattmatt. You want to introduce yourself and where we're going?
Hello. Um, I am Mattmatt, and this is Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which I will be playing on the PS5 via the PS4 Nathan Drake collection, which is the fastest way to run the game. So as you can see by the category name, there's a lot going on there, but this run is still very, very broken. There's just a couple of glitches that make the run really hard, really bad. This category just gets rid of those and sticks with the good stuff. So we'll be playing on the easiest difficulty, which is Explorer, just to make it a bit easier. And I'm going to use a save file because just to be safe in case the game crashes, which it can do. So timer will start when I skip the first cutscene, so I will give you a countdown. So 3, 2, 1, go. So this first level's
How the hell they find us out
just
here?
movement, and it's just on a timer. There's nothing we can do to really speed it up. And also, as you can see, playing on Explorer gives you a really heavy lock-on aim, which is quite useful. You do get aim assist on the other difficulties, but on this one you get like an actual full-on lock-on aim. So we just have to wait here. There's going to be 2 guys that are going to spawn on this side. This is all on a timer. There's no real way to speed it up. So there's going to be 2 guys on this side, and then 2 guys on the other side, which are going to take a while to spawn.
Oh no, you don't.
Just got to wait. Here they come, shoot them, and then 2 more on this side again. And then that's pretty much just, this level's really boring. The speedrun actually is very interesting when it gets going, and it will start to pick up in the next level, but for the time being, just gotta do some waiting around. So, oh no, don't do that. You have to wait here. You have to wait for this boat to spawn on the left. There we go. And now I can go. If I move before that boat spawns, it actually will spawn more enemies. So I'm just gonna casually go into this spawn, so I can't get shot by the boat. I'm just gonna wait.
Okay, that's not good.
Have to wait. I don't know how long here. About 20 seconds. So we're just gonna stand here for 20 seconds and just wait for the boat to blow up.
Cavalry's here.
And here we go. It's about to blow up now. So that level always finishes at around 2 minutes 12 seconds and 56 milliseconds, I believe. It's always the same.
I'm not as young as I used
So
to.
now we're getting to the good stuff, but first we've got to do a bit of walking. So the fastest movement in this game is combat speed, but you only get to use that in a select few places. So when we don't have that ability to do that, we'll be jumping,
Well, hang in there, old timer. We're
doing
just
little
about
pops.
You know,
And the fastest way to do these is to just press X as soon as you hit the floor, and then you get like no delay.
risky move, but
So in this game you can cancel rolls by blind firing, which I'll be doing a lot to
Hanging on every
speed
word.
myself up.
Francis Drake came all the way up here, huh? We're an awful long way from England.
I was meant to jump there, that's okay. Bit of a slow walk, but that's fine.
Oh man, this is like trying to find a bride.
So I'm going to do the first little trick of the run. So in this area you're meant to go like climb all the way around to get to the top.
This is not like it.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get in this corner and roll into this wall, which gives me a little bit of a height boost on that tree, and that allows me to climb up here and skip doing all of
older
that.
than that.
It saves like 20 seconds or
1,000 years
so.
older.
Good work, kid.
Whoa!
Coming up in a second is going to be the biggest trick of the run, which we're going to be utilizing pretty much all the time after this, and that is the aim clipping. So if you've never seen a speedrun of this game before, basically you can literally just go up to a wall with it facing the left side of you, and if you just spam aim, you can just go through the wall. It's very broken, and that's going to be the main trick we're going to be using pretty much the entire run. I'm going to do it here, and I need to do a specific trick here, which can be difficult. Sometimes there, when you fall off to get in this water, the game will just be like, no sorry, and just launch you forward, and then you die. No one knows why it happens. So we're basically just skipping all the sections in this level just by clipping through every single door. You're meant to do a lot of puzzles in this area, and like in this spot here, you're meant to go down this hole that I'm standing on right now, but
Wait, I recognize
and do a puzzle to get that to open, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go through the door. I'm going to go through this door. Some little shortcut jumps there to get across that a bit faster. This part is kind of scary because if you die, you get sent quite far back. And there's a section later on where you have to get to an entire chapter without dying, because we do a glitch that makes no checkpoints spawn at all. So if you die, then that's sad, because you also lose combat speed too. I'm going to try and do a pretty tricky aim clip here. So I've got to aim clip and jump right as it lets me, and try and jump down there. It's really difficult to do, because you literally have like a few frames to get the jump off. There we go. And now coming up is the submarine, but you're meant to actually climb all the way around to get into the submarine. But as you can probably tell, I'm not going to do that because that's slow. So we're just going to aim clip through this invisible wall and just walk into this checkpoint, which will put us inside the submarine. So now we just got to walk through this. Not really much to say. Just going to be walking for a bit, turning some wheels, spinning some sticks. I guess I could try and explain some of the stuff that isn't allowed, that we don't do in this run. So as you can see by the category name, it's called No Airwalks, Launchless. So there's two glitches that you can do in this game. Airwalks are
How so?
Well, I just met a guy
not figured out.
Spanish gold.
Really random.
The mint mark. I've never seen
you can do them consistently with
German
tweaks
friends had a little
using
secret.
slow motion, but obviously that counts as New Game Plus. So if you want to see a bunch of airwalks done in a run, watch the New Game Plus category. But in real RTA, you're not really gonna see them because they're just that difficult to perform. And launches is basically just, it speaks for itself. You can do launches to launch yourself really far, which later on in the run there's a skip that skips quite a lot with one, and it's very hard to do. So they kind of make the speed run a lot harder, whereas this route that I'm going to be using is pretty chill, pretty casual. It's pretty easy to get into. Like if you want to learn this run, this one, No Airwalks without launches is pretty simple to do. All you really have to do is know how to aim clip and then do like a certain couple of other skips here and there. So yeah, so that was a submarine. We just kind of walked through it and skipped a few cutscenes.
That's probably bad.
So now Sully's technically apparently dead, so now we've got to run away. So we're being chased.
Don't let him get past.
I'm going to do another aim clip here to get through this little bush, which is also a tricky one. There we go. There's going to be a guy here. I want to kill him and try and get his gun. There we go. So this is combat speed. So this is the fastest form of movement, but you can only get it in like certain spots where you can run like this. But when you do get it, this is the fastest way to move.
Stay close.
So I'm gonna hope this guy doesn't punch me. Nice, he just sucker punch the air. And you can see how fast you run. It's very, very quick.
Tell you later.
So, if I didn't explain it already, the fastest way to move upstairs is to actually blind fire up to them, like I am now. You don't get the little stair animation when you do that. So there's going to be 4 guys here I need to kill, and I can restart a checkpoint. I'm going to be slowed down a bit by these auto saves, but that's fine, because there is a couple of spots where the game can crash or I can soft lock, and if that happens, I need to be able to continue. Oh. If you don't use a save file, you don't get that little waiting to have to restart after a save. So I'm going to leave one guy alive down here. It's pretty important. That lets me keep combat speed up here. But it also allows me to attempt to do a trick, which lets me keep combat speed into the next level, which you're not meant to do. And if I don't get it, it's going to lose me a lot of time. It's pretty easy to do though. It's not hard at all. Just got to kill these 3, and what you basically do is when you kill this guy, you keep blind firing into the trigger. And if you pull your pistol out here, you know you've done it right. And now I should be able to sprint in this level, which you're not meant to do.
Plane is missing.
And it saves a lot of time. So now we can do a bunch more aim clips. So coming up here is probably one of the harder aim clips in the game, which sometimes can fail. So I need to clip into this wall in a specific way that I can jump out of it. There we go. Sometimes it does. You don't actually get clipped all the way, and you just get like stuck, and then you have to do it again. I'm going to do the first like little balance beam. You can roll across this, but I don't. It's kind of risky, and it barely saves any time. And also, fun fact, on PS3, those things required you to actually use the 6-axis to balance on them, and they got rid of that on this, so it's very good that you don't have to worry about that, and it's not slowing you down, because you actually go across them faster now than you did on PS3. So I'm going to do another little skip here to skip doing this fight, even though there is no way to actually skip doing this fight. Because the fight isn't there. Because we did the glitch at the start, there is no fight there, so we have to actually do that skip to progress. But thankfully there's a little rock there that you can roll up on to get enough height to climb up and skip doing the fight. And I'm going to aim click through this gate, which is also can be kind of finicky. You have to be in like a really specific spot to get through that. Alright, now the final hurdle coming up. If I die at any point on this waterfall section, I have to do this entire chapter again, and I will lose the sprint speed, which will cost me about 4 minutes, maybe more. So I don't want that to happen, but I know what I'm doing. As long as you do it right, you shouldn't die. Unless the game just does something really stupid, like do like a ledge warp randomly and then you will die. I nearly missed that jump then. Oh, we're good. We hit the checkpoint. So I'm going to try and jump across this without having to drop down there. So I'm going to try and do another little skip here. You're meant to wait for this truck to actually like collapse. If you can climb up and jump over here quick enough, I don't think that... Oh, it did work. Okay, I did get it. If you do it quick enough, you can actually hit that checkpoint. Which skips having to wait for it to fall and then watch the cutscene of it fall into then move again. It saves like 10 seconds or something like that. I'm not sure. Coming up here in a minute is barrel skip, and I actually don't really run this game that often. But it's one game I've never done a marathon before, so I thought I'd do it. And I haven't played it really in like a year up until today, and I don't remember the backup for this. So if I fail this barrel clip, I'm just gonna have to do it again. I'm gonna restart checkpoint here, which will skip the rest of that cutscene. I'm gonna hope up. So if we take cover on this barrel at a really specific spot, I messed it up. Okay, there we go. If you take cover on the right side of it, you can just vault over it out of bounds. And skip that fight. So here I'm just gonna run off this ledge. It's a little bit faster than jumping. So I'm gonna do a little tiny shortcut here. Out of bounds. It doesn't save much time, but it just, well, I mess it up anyway. Hang on, let's see if I can get back to it. I'm just out of bounds here, and it just keeps going around. And that's that chapter done now. We're on the fortress. Another pretty simple chapter. Do some more climbing.
Eyes ahead, don't look down. Thank you, Hud.
Oh, I'm kind of stuck. Okay. So we're gonna hope that this guy on this MG up here. Okay, that's cool. Great. Climb up, please. This is gonna mess me over now because of that. I need that guy to get off that MG. No, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna redo that. That really messed up bad because I couldn't get up the ledge for some reason. That's annoying. That should not have happened with that ledge. Please get off. Sorry. I'm gonna die. I probably should have done the safer way. You're not really meant to do this way. There is a different way to do it which doesn't spawn these enemies, but this way is a little bit faster. But it's very risky too because it's easy to die, as you can see. Can you shoot this barrel?
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay. This place could use a good plumber. Son of a bitch, where'd they all come?
So I'm gonna skip this fight too. But this area is kind of weird, so you have to I'm gonna kill this guy because he gets in my way. So you have to clip this gate, which hits a trigger on the other side, and then clip back through. So there's a trigger on the other side of this gate that's like, okay, you finish the fight, because then it thinks the enemies are dead. And then you have to clip back through to be able to turn this gate, which in turn lets you climb up these things. Because you can't actually do this unless you turn that crank. There is a way to skip doing that first one up there. We call it crank skip, but it's probably it is the hardest trick in this category, and I'm not gonna waste time trying to do it. So and it only saves like maybe 25 seconds, 20 seconds or so. So I'm not gonna bother. So once we get to the top of these stairs, restart checkpoint. That'll warp us up here. We'll clip this wall. I'm going to clip this wall and the camera's going to go a bit wonky. But I'm going to keep clipping a little bit. If I try and walk in too early, it won't work. Pick up that AK. That hits a trigger. You need to do that to hit a trigger to spawn these enemies or you can't progress. I'm going to do a pretty hard clip here to get into this wall. Sometimes it's difficult. So it's really finicky to get that one. Now I'm going to do the corridor of death, which you can easily die in this corridor if you decide to just get punched for no reason. That is good. I'm gonna clip this gate. This gate can also be kind of finicky to clip as well sometimes. There's a couple of clips in this run that sometimes are just kind of awkward to do. There's one later on like a big bridge section where sometimes instead of clipping the gate, you'll actually just clip the wall, which you don't want. I'm gonna jump from here.
Where'd she go?
And then jump across to here. I'm just gonna blind fall up these stairs.
This must have been Drake's. So what were you looking for, huh?
Should just wait for this cutscene to trigger. Skip that. Shoot this guy. And then another cutscene is going to trigger because that was needed. Don't know why, but apparently it was. And now we're on the biggest auto-scroller section of the entire game, where we literally just wait and do nothing for 4 minutes. So if you've got any donations, you want to read anything you want to say, this is the perfect time for that.
We do not have any new donations yet, though I am going to encourage the chat that all you have to do is hit !donate in chat, and you will find that there's a way to donate, and we still have a few bid wars open. Right now, still in Save versus Kill the Animals for Full Throttle Remastered has Kill the Animals winning by $10 over Save the Animals. You can change that. I'm also going to make a point of saying that over 8 million Americans have psoriasis. Nearly a third of them will develop psoriatic arthritis, and for over 50 years, the National Psoriasis Foundation has provided education, support, and community to the millions of individuals impacted by these chronic diseases, which are grouped together as psoriatic disease. NPF helps those who are in need and donates and funds research to find a cure. We do have a few more incentives that are coming up in the day-long speedrun. We will be ending tonight around midnight with our final run. And if you are interested in the music we're playing between our runs, it's an OC remix station called Rainwave. You can vote on that by hitting !music or by checking out www.rainwavecc/OCRemix.
Yeah, so this part on Explorer, you actually can pretty much get through most of it without even shooting anyone if you want to, but there is a chance you can die at some point, so you're best off shooting a couple, but you don't really need to do anything here. There is one thing that you can do to speed it up, which is coming up in a sec. It's just a little checkpoint restart. So right here, there's going to be a little in-game cutscene. We can skip that by checkpoint restarting. Now, one thing I do have to do is hit this guy. If I miss this shot, I can die. Because he will crash into you and kill you. But it's not that big of a time loss if he does like 5-10 seconds. So we're coming near to the end of this auto scroller. We've just got a little bit more to do. We've got to blow up a wall and go around the corner and then just wait for a little cutscene to play out. That car just drove through that wall. This car's kind of buggy. You'll notice earlier that a car literally just fell through the floor. It's very weird. But surprisingly, apart from the climbing, this game's pretty well made. Like, the climbing in this game, if you don't do it correctly, you will fall and kill yourself. It's very easy to, like, hanging on a ledge and jump, and you'll just jump and fall to his death. It's very broken. If you've played this game, you'll probably know how broken the climbing is in this game, but they fixed that in the other games. It's just really bad in this one. It's actually pretty bad in Uncharted 3 as well, but in Uncharted 2 it's really good. So that's the end of that. Boring section done. Now we get back to the good stuff. I'm going to check one restart here. Skips me having to swim to the shore.
God's sake!
Oh, these guys never quit.
I'm going to clip through this wall. I'm just going to run around this area out of bounds. Pretty easy to fall off, but I've done it enough times that I should be fine. I'm going to do the jet ski section, which I forgot to mention this before. I am playing on the Japanese version of the game. It might not look like it, but it does have English text and stuff, so I chose to use that. But there is a couple of perks to the Japanese version, and one of them is here. There's less barrels to deal with, so there's a lot of sections here where I won't really have to shoot any barrels. I can just kind of drive past them. So I only usually shoot the first one, and all these I'll just drive past because there's less of them to blow me up. And I think that's the only difference on the Japanese version for this game, specifically. That's literally it, and it doesn't save much time, so it doesn't save any really if you know what you're doing. So it just makes that part more safer. I'm not sure if it affects the barrels in chapter 12. I don't know. Also, right there, I shot my gun. I shot the grenade launcher right before I got off. What that does is that gives me full sprint speed here, which I wouldn't usually have, so I can get combat speed when I shouldn't have it. So I'm going to use photo mode here to load in this area. So I'm going to put it through that camera, put it through that door, and it will load in this area. Very useful. I'm going to grab this AK, that's important. So here coming up is that really finicky clip I talked about. Not this one, this one's easy. So we're going to clip this gate. So right here, this clip is really finicky. Sometimes you can get clipped into the wall behind you. There we go, good. It's very weird. So right here, if I die, I'm gonna get soft locked and the game won't know where I am. I have to actually quit out and do this all over again from the previous checkpoint. It's fine, I should be fine. You shoot that lot. Jump over here, yeah. Right, now we are safe from the soft lock. So we jump down here. There's gonna be a big minigun guy up there, but I'm gonna ignore him and just walk this way. I'm gonna clip through this wall and skip that. And jump across this bridge, speed it up a little bit. So you just gotta kill these enemies. You have to kill everyone here when you can't progress. Gonna be a couple of enemies here we need to kill. And get on the jet ski. And now we're on the last jet ski section. But this one is arguably the hardest because it's quite long and it's pretty easy to die because Elena's auto aim on these barrels is pretty bad sometimes. Oh, like that, she just wouldn't shoot it and I nearly hit it. That was very close. And that would have lost a lot of time because I think there's only one checkpoint in this and it's coming up. And if you die before you hit that checkpoint, you have to do this all over again from the start. So it's very, very slow if you manage to die here somehow. But that part is kind of easy. It's this part that's the problem because there's a bunch of barrels here which can kill you, yes, but the final part of this section where you're driving through the big open area, it's sometimes you can just randomly just take a lot of damage and die, and no one knows why. I think there's one specific enemy that does a lot of damage to you if you don't manage to kill him.
I mean, I do have to mention, you are driving a jet ski up a waterfall. That usually is not a recipe for going unharmed.
That is very true. She should be aiming better. I don't understand why she's so bad at it. Yeah, so this is the part. So you can randomly take a lot of damage here and die, and I'll have to do all that again. So hopefully that does not happen. That was pretty lucky there. I barely took any damage that time. Usually you were very close to being grey, but I wasn't really anywhere near them, so it's fine. So now we're on chapter 13, the monastery. And we're going to be skipping a lot of stuff coming up soon, and coming up very soon also is probably
see what's going on.
the hardest skip of the game that loses the most time if you fail it, which is called puzzle skip. And there's a lot of people that don't actually even do it still, because it's pretty infamous for being hard, but I've done it enough that I should be fine. It's not even the actual puzzle skip that I'm worried about. When you do puzzle skip, you don't get any checkpoints. Can I go through this gate, please? Okay. Not give it to the gate. There's another skip that you're meant to do after puzzle skip, which is... It's not hard, but sometimes it will just fail and you'll die, and then you have to do puzzle skip all over again, and it loses a lot of time, so... That's the thing I'm most scared of happening. Can I actually clip this gate this time? That would be really good. This gate isn't hard to clip, just sometimes you just He's like, no, I'm not going through, and just gets stuck for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Just slow down.
Like the fact that he wouldn't clip that gate was not my fault. Just the game being silly. So I'm gonna get this pistol here because it's very overpowered. I'm gonna use it later on for a fight. Also, you can clip with the long guns, like the two-handed weapons. You can aim clip with those too, but most people just prefer to do it with the pistol. It's a bit easier. So I'm going to clip through this wall. I'm just going to jump here to get up here out of bounds. Skip going around there. Skips a little fight too. Alright, so now coming up is the setup for puzzle skip. So I'm going to do a couple of things first. I'm going to go up here to trigger these enemies, which gives us combat speed. I'm going to clip this wall. I'm going to jump photo mode to load in this area. I'm going to jump down here. Well, I can't see. A bit awkward. So now we're going to go over to the puzzle room, and you can probably tell why it's called puzzle skip. It actually skips a lot more than you would think. To actually be able to complete the puzzle the normal way, you have to do a lot more stuff to get into the puzzle room, because as you can see through that door, it's not loaded in. But thankfully we can get around that and not do it. So we're going to take cover here, and we're going to do one of those little cover shimmy clips that I did at the start in the boat. All you do is basically just flick the left stick from left to right, and you should like start going up and through. But usually you clip through, but here you go up the tombstone for some reason. But we need to get through this barrier. That should be enough. There we go. So I'm going to get in this corner. I'm going to clip. I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to explain it after, because it's quite hard. There we go. No, 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 don't you dare. Oh, thank you. So basically what I did was you have to line yourself up in a really specific way there. Jump. And you have to load in at the perfect time. If you pause too early, the area won't load. No, it will. If you pause too early, it will load, but you'll get stuck out of the map. If you pause too late, you fall through the floor and die. So you have to pause perfectly to get stuck a little bit in the floor enough that you can jump up back in bounds, and that's puzzle skip. But now this is the hard part. I have to do a trick here where I'm going to take cover on this railing, vault over it, and hope I can get a jump input off. If I don't, I'm going to die, and I'm going to be very sad. No!
Can we get some Fs in the chat, please?
I'll just do it again.
You got this.
I can't load the next chapter because it skips too much. I've got to do all this again now. That I don't know why that jump is. It just sometimes doesn't work, and it always decides not to work on the perfect time. Like, it's not even hard. You just literally vault over and press jump, and sometimes he will jump, but he didn't. Oh well. It's very annoying. So we're clipping through a wall here we can't actually see. Forgot to mention that. Hello, can you go through? Where am I? That was weird. I was like stuck. Why am I stuck? There we go. Well, so we'll do this again. Get to show it off again. Pretty cool. Doing the hard part first try, but failing the easy thing. Well, hopefully I will. If I die to this jump again, I'm just gonna load up the next chapter, because it's just gonna waste too much time me trying to do it over and over again.
No worries, we get it.
So it's gonna skip a little bit of gameplay, but it's just gonna waste too much time having to keep doing this again. It's just a shame there's no checkpoints like anywhere nearby. Literally, the checkpoint is right when you drop down there. You just run to a cutscene and there's your checkpoint, but it's just getting down there that's the problem. Like, it's not hard, it's just weird. There we go. That's what should have happened, but the game said no. So there's the checkpoint. That's all we needed to do. So pretend that never happened because it was not my fault. Game being done.
I didn't see anything.
No, nor did I.
Hey, bullet!
So we've got to do a little fight, which is actually quite a tricky fight. There's two guys with grenade launchers, which if they hit you, they can one-shot you. Also, this is the reason why I picked up this pistol, was for this fight. Speeds it up quite a bit. We grab some ammo for it here as well. He's gone. That is very slow. Speed. So you can blind fire again here too, and get combat speed back. So right when you finish that fight, if you just shoot another bullet, you'll get your combat speed back. It's very helpful.
Uh-oh.
He's over there.
There's going to be a shotgun guy here, but he is no problem. Just let him get on with it. He's fine. He won't kill you. Well, he can if he runs right up to you, but it's very rare that he does. So. And now we've got kind of a little waiting section. There is a little trick that we can do here. So in this cutscene here, once I've boosted Lena onto the ladder, you can actually move. So I'm gonna make use of this in a weird way. So I'm gonna move a little bit forward here, a little bit, not all the way.
Looks like an old.
And when the camera
hoist or
pans down to
something.
me so I can see myself, I'm gonna just
There's
walk
a
into the
rope.
hole.
I'll try to lower it down to
Right here, I'm gonna just walk into this hole. And for whatever reason, even though you die, it still triggers the cutscene instantly. It saves a couple of seconds. No one really knows why it works, it just does.
Just get that
Don't
rope
question
over
it.
here. Fast!
So now I'm just gonna kill all these enemies. And I don't have a lot of ammo. Or some up, it's fine. So just kind of stand at the back of this room here. Don't fall in the hole though, that would be sad. You just stand here and shoot them as they spawn. You can like memorize the pattern if you want and like wait for them to spawn, but standing over here and just looking around is pretty decent too. Plus I haven't run this game now, so I don't remember where they all spawn. So there should be these two left. There we go. I just had enough ammo for that. Now Eddie's dead. Rip Eddie. We just wait for her to drop this thing above me down so I can get on it. I can actually do this. Do some spinning. You can actually get grabbed here and like get instant kills, so don't risk that. Right, so as you come down a sec, as soon as it turns grey, you can get on it.
Grab the rope. Come on, Nate.
Now, if you ever played this game casually, you'll remember chapter 18 and 19 being like in the spooky bunker with the monsters and where you get the MP40 and all that. That's pretty cool, probably the coolest part of the game, but I'm just not going to do any of that. I don't want to go fast. So I'm just gonna come over to this this gate here. Gonna clip through it, and I'm just gonna jump to this ladder. Okay. Even though I was aiming at the ladder, and the game just decided to jump me to the right for whatever reason. That's cool. And that skips all of chapter 18 and 19. Literally just jump into that ladder. So on the final stretch, not much left. I'm going to restart checkpoint here. It skips a little bit of dialogue and lets us move instantly so we can jump. So we're going to skip this big shootout here as well by, you guessed it, clipping through a door. Because that's pretty much all you do in this run. Now we're going to do the elusive skip called the Golden Boner. Don't know why it's called that, but it is called that, and I'm going to do it. It's not hard. I genuinely don't know why it's called that. Rock, please tell me why it's called that.
Well,
I'm going to clip this
it's
wall.
the internet, and we're all 12.
True. So I'm going to clip this wall. I'm going to hang here, and I'm going to drop, and I'm going to photo mode down to unload this area, and I'm going to let go, and it should just trigger the cutscene down there. I don't actually know how much time that actually saves, but it's a decent amount. Probably like 15 seconds or so over the old skip. Excuse me. There's going to be a couple of enemies here I need to kill, hopefully not die. I'm going to wait here, I've only got one bullet. And now we're on the final level with the Navarro boss fight, except we're not really going to do that. We're just going to kind of, as you guessed it, aim clip and just run to the end of it. You know, clip into this box. Just stick to the left here to hopefully not get insta-shot. And then we're going to clip into this box. I'm just going to run over here. We skipped all of that gunfight section. Pretty cool. And now we've got the final boss, technically. If you play this on like PS4 or PS5 on Explorer, you can just literally jump on this box, jump to him and punch him. You don't have to do the waiting in cover because you don't take enough damage to die. So yeah, get ready on time. It's coming up in a second. I'll say time when it's done. And time. Oh, it skips the Golden Bones chapter. That's why it's called Golden Boner. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Very good.
All right. Let's get some GGs in the chat here, y'all.
Thank you, thank you. Apart from puzzle skip and a few little bits, it was pretty decent. Yeah, that was Uncharted. I think the marathon's behind, so I'll just cut it short and say a couple things quickly. So yeah, if you want to run this game, it's a pretty good speedrun. The Uncharted community is very, very friendly. Probably the friendliest community that I've ever been a part of, so check it out. And yeah, thanks for watching the run. And that's all I have to say.